Dean Pizzo, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, my new colleagues. Man, what a difference 4 years to 12 years makes. I think back to the beginning of school, 2 weeks into classes, and already we were magnets for medical questions. Family and friends treating us like we'd been in practice since the Eisenhower administration. The questions about glucosamine and beta blockers, the question about what to do when Zoe got that Fruit Loop stuck up her nose. And my personal favorite, the frantic call from my mother. Josh, the dog just ate a bug, and his head is the size of a basketball. We fumbled through our answers and our explanations. We quickly learned that I don't know doesn't wash with anyone claiming blood ties or history to us. And so we, some of the best and brightest students in medicine, did what any reasonable person would do in such circumstances. We went to Google. Now, years of medical education under our belts, we field more questions about arthritis, high blood pressure, allergic dogs. But this time, we answer right then and there. We are faster, we are smarter. But most importantly, our Google searches are better. And we know about up-to-date. And folks, don't ask your kids about up-to-date. Just assume they're really, really smart. But I'm not here to sing the praises of internet search skills or even our basic medical training. What I want to talk about is engagement. And I don't mean the kind that ends with inappropriate speeches by the best man. I'm talking about physician engagement with issues beyond the OR or the clinic. And the reason I want to talk about this is that I believe we're at an historic moment when it comes to healthcare in the U.S. Let me set the stage. 47 million uninsured. Healthcare spending of over $2 trillion last year, $6,700 for every person in this country. It's expected to be about $4 trillion by 2015. Now, just to put this in perspective, if you weighed $4 trillion on a scale, it would weigh more than the sun. Just kidding. But it is. Yeah, that's not true. But it is a lot of money. On the research side, NIH funding peaked in 2003, and despite producing some spectacular results, funding has declined in real dollars since then. I don't need to tell anyone involved in the hunt for grants that these days are indeed lean. In summary, the health of healthcare in this country is not what it should be. Let me set another stage as an example. In the first 100 years of this country, 4.6% of members of Congress were physicians. In the past 40 years, 1.1% were. So, why all the wonky numbers in a graduation speech? For me, it comes down to this. At a time when healthcare is becoming the largest single chunk of our economy, when it has its fingers deep into the lives of every single person here, when the political climate, for the first time in almost 15 years, is truly recognizing the importance of the issue, at this time, physician participation in these immense forces that shape the country's fate, and especially our fate as doctors, is at an historic low. But why? Why the lack of doctors in public life? People much smarter than I have come up with answers, ranging from the narrow focus of physician education to the demands of daily practice, which don't allow doctors to explore other career options while still caring for patients. The gist of it is that physicians can't focus on anything but practice and/or research because there aren't enough hours in the day. This, I think, is a problem. Not only because it's somewhat disingenuous, there is research that says development of expertise in two disciplines enhances performance in each, but because it deprives society of the unique perspective physicians can provide. So, what am I saying? Am I saying that all of us should chuck our training and run for that open seat in the 9th District? Hardly. However, I am saying that physicians, for themselves and for society, should be more involved in the larger debate, which sorely needs the doctor's voice right now. And the ways in which we can speak up are myriad. Through elected politics and policy work, sure. But it can also be through letters to the editor. It can be through business. It can be through art. It can even, God forbid, be through fiction. The important thing is to engage. And this is the point at which we come full circle, back from the travails of national policy to the Stanford campus, June 16, 2007. I might be biased, but Stanford Med is doing a better job than any other school in the country to prepare its students for engagement with medicine, capital E, capital M, which comes down to a lot more than providing us access to up-to-date. Not only has Stanford given us an unparalleled medical education, that goes without saying, it has also allowed us the flexibility to wrangle with the world outside the hospital. And it has supported that endeavor with cold, hard cash, a little over $2 million in student research funds last year alone. There were grants for work in the lab, for work in public policy, epidemiology, the arts. There were grants for papers that had titles ranging from Formation, malformation, and transformation, my experience as a medical student and patient. 2, ensemble molecular dynamics yields sub-millisecond kinetics and intermediates of membrane fusion. Yes, it does. I think. I'm trusting. Stanford truly has provided fertile ground for scientists, policy advocates, writers, and entrepreneurs. From the top down, this medical school recognizes the importance of the physician's role in society. It recognizes the importance of engagement. And this is not trivial, especially now. So, what are we supposed to do with all this? What do we do with a stellar medical education that pays attention to the big picture? Here, I will only speak for myself. Just as I hope to carry my medical education with me for the rest of my life, I hope I will continue to carry the Stanford ethos. In short, I hope I never stop being a Stanford student, though I gotta admit that not paying tuition will be a very, very nice change. In the end, there's a lot of thanks to go around today. Thanks to the faculty and the administration for the dynamic and supportive environment they've created. Thanks to my classmates who've already been so engaged and challenging. Thanks to the parents and families who've sweated and sacrificed so we could trudge through fluorescent-lit hospital corridors while the California sun shone outside. And finally, I trust someday society will thank Stanford Medical School for the forward-thinking, paradigm-busting physician leaders who get their wings today. Oh, and one final thing. Don't let all the paradigm-busting, forward-thinking physician engagement talk fool you. This is for the families. Even if your kid finds herself cooling her heels in some Senate office someday, she will always, and I mean always, have time to take a look at that rash that's been giving you such trouble lately. Thank you.